Hi guys and welcome, my name is Jude and today I have some spooky recommendations for you. They aren't really all that scary, these books, some of them are, but I made a pile of very diverse books, so I'm hoping to satisfy all your needs for this October. But definitely the whole October thing, because of Halloween, has a sort of somber thing to it. You know, the whole month is kind of like, ooh. That's just creepy on my behalf, but sometimes you want something a little bit more on the dark side of things, so definitely my list is for that. So let's get started. First up, for those of you that really want to get scared, like you really want a spooky book, 172 Hours on the Moon by Johann Harstad. There's no other. I'll just read you the back. It's the opportunity of a lifetime if they make it back alive. I have a full review on this book if you want to check it out. I'll link it down below. It is creepy. It's not scary in the sense that like boo, but it's about this group of people with some kids that go to the moon, and there's some scary shit up there. And no, I stayed up all night reading this book, and then it was just creeping on and I had nightmares, and it was such a great experience. So yes, 172 Hours on the Moon, highly recommended. Another creepy book that you might be interested in, it's Choker by Elizabeth Woods. The back says, what are best friends for? Very briefly, Choker is about this girl named Kara who's having a tough time at school, and they call her Choker because she one day nearly choked on the cafeteria with something, and they mock her, they bully her, and she's just having a rough time. But then her best friend Zoe comes into town and visits her, and things start getting really weird pretty quickly. What I do have to say about it is that it is a very predictable story. It doesn't have like plot twists all around, it's nothing like that, but you do enjoy seeing how things unravel and how everything goes on, and in the end, just at the very end, there is this huge plot twist that's just like mindfuck. And I loved it. The very last page of this book is gold, and it changed everything, and it was so great. So I highly recommend it. It's a pretty small book, so you go through it, you fly through it. Highly recommend it. It's so great. Next up, if you are into graphic novels, you've probably seen this around BookTube a lot, especially last year, but it's Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. The illustrations in here are absolutely gorgeous and breathtaking and beautiful, and everything, the whole book is just so amazing. You might have already seen like Ariel Bassett's review where she just talked wonders of it and she loved it. The only thing, I mean, it's a good book, but the only thing is that I didn't find it to be scary at all. None of the stories were scary, and actually Emily Carroll has a really weird way, very distinctive way of making her stories. It took me aback for the first like 2 stories until I was like, okay, so this is happening. This is a recurring theme here. But she sort of starts her stories and then they seem to be getting somewhere, and then she just bam, cuts them. They just stop. None of her stories have like a solid conclusion to them. None of them seem to actually have an ending to them. They're just like left open, and it's like, ooh, you don't know what happened, ooh. I don't find that to be spooky at all. I just end up kind of frustrated and like, why did it? That made no sense. That made no sense. So I don't think that the suspense worked here, but it's still a really enjoyable book, and maybe if you have younger kids or siblings, you can read it to them and they probably will get spooked. So yes, it's a beautiful, lovely book. You fly through it and it's just great. It is a great visual experience, so it's worth checking out, definitely. Next, for those of you that want something that's just magical and like great adventure that has to do like with the witches and things like that, I will recommend Old Magic. Ambulances. Old Magic by Marianne Curley. I hope I didn't butcher her name. This is a story that not many people know, but it is such a fun tale of magic and wizards and witches and all the things, and I absolutely adored it. It is a standalone fantasy paranormal book, and everyone that I've lent the book to, they love it. I have it, but it's up here and there's a pile of books here, and I'm really lazy to get it, so you get a picture. But to everyone that I've lent it to, they love it and enjoy it just for what it is, a short story that's just really a fun time. So definitely recommend you checking it out, it's great. Now for those of you that would like to see the dark side of humanity this October, I have Vicious by V.E. Schwab, which is about an anti-hero and it's just all very vicious. Wow. The book really explores what it means to be good and what it means to be evil, if you can be both, and just how selfish us as humans can be and the complexity of being a person. So it's such an amazing book to just like really get into it and think about all the things that it has and the messages that it can give you. So if you want something a little bit more deep and dark and mysterious and a little bit creepy, definitely Vicious. And for those of you that want something that it's actually a dark topic and will probably get you a little bit depressed, I will go with 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. The back says, you can't stop the future. You can't rewind the past. The only way to learn the secret is to press play. 13 Reasons Why is a story of a girl named Hannah that kills herself, but before doing so she leaves a series of 13 stories in those tapes where she gives the 13 reasons why she killed herself. And the book follows Clay Jensen, a guy that has the tapes and he's listening to them, and it's a tough story to get through and it deals with really dark topics all throughout the book. I mean, suicide is a heavy thing, but it talks a lot about a lot more things, so it's definitely a dark novel, dark contemporary novel, but there's so much to be taken from it, and it's such a great mind-blowing book. It's written in a very simple way, so it's really easy to get through, even though it's a hard book to get through, if that makes sense. But the writing style is simple and flows very naturally, so I highly recommend this book to you if you haven't read it yet. It's been around for a while now, but it's still a great book, or just to reread it. And that's it. Those are my top recommendations for this time of year, like for pumpkin spiced latte kind of things, so definitely I suggest these books. I enjoyed every single one of them. Of course, I wouldn't be telling you about them otherwise. But I would love to know, what other books do you like to read during this time of year? What do you like? The spooky books that you can recommend to me? Leave them in the comment section. I would really appreciate it, and you can tell others, you know, so that they can find more. And also let me know what your plans are for Halloween. I think for one part I'm gonna go as Snow White, and for another one I'm going to go as Grumpy Cat. I'm just gonna paint my face like Grumpy Cat. I hope that works out. But if it does, I will Instagram it for sure, so you can follow me on Instagram. And yes. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!